Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Justin. I'm going to thank you guys for making me a part of your day. This video, I'm going to be bringing you guys some Titanfall gameplay. It was a live comm, but it was kind of boring because nobody wanted to talk to me, and so that's why I'm making it a commentary. Okay, so I haven't done a commentary in a long time. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to talk about a few things about what's going on with me, and I wanted to make a video because I've been watching a lot of videos because I've been kind of bored because it's summer. So I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time, so I have played Modern Warfare 2 a little bit, and I played Ghost last night, and it was terrible. Okay, so it is worse than I remember. So if you like Ghost, that's cool, but for me, it just wasn't for me. But I played it because my brother and his buddy. So my buddies, they wanted to play it, and that was the only game we had on Xbox One, so we played it. Okay. But in general, this video is going to be about something a little bit different, kind of like not a motivational video, but just a few things, my thoughts, because in my regular job, I got to do this a lot, and I've been listening to a lot of the feedback from a lot of the other people. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight because I might be a little bit older, might be a little wiser, might know a few things, right? So I wanted to give you guys some of the tips that I've learned over my years, my many years on this planet. Okay, so basically what I wanted to talk about was goal setting because, like, for a lot of people, they don't really know what they're doing with life, especially, and they don't know. Like, most of you guys are in school, so that's fine, right? But even in school, a lot of students don't even know like where they're going in their school life or their work life or their college life, academic life, all that stuff. And one of the things that I see all the time, and no matter where I work or wherever I go, it's always the same thing. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're setting your goals, and this can be any arbitrary goal. So let's say our goal is to graduate high school and then go to college. Okay, now you got to kind of figure out what you need to do to get there. Just graduating is not going to be enough. Well, now it's not. When I was a kid, you had to actually go through a plan, go through a counselor, do all this stuff, okay? If you're a really good student, naturally, it's just going to be easier for you, but we're talking about, like, for most people, okay? But you got to set your goals, your realistic goals and stuff like that. So another goal would be, like, if you want to get in shape, because that's the main one that everybody wants to be. They want to be healthier, and they want to do all this stuff. So you can pick, like, when I'm talking about these arbitrary, like, examples and these vague examples, you can either pick one like, oh, I want to do better at school, I want to do better at getting in shape, or I want to do better in my community, in my church. That's another thing too, is if you want to definitely help your community out or help your church out, whatever. There's a guy riding a four-wheeler around in my neighborhood like it's a damn track, but anyways, leave it in there. So that's what I'm talking about. So you got to pick one of those, or maybe some other goal. You just want to be like a better person in general. Okay, so that's something you guys need to think about when I'm talking about these points right now. Okay, so the first thing, actually I have them out of order because what it came down to was this. I don't know if it's an American thing because, like, I have some viewers that are not American. I want to know your feedback on that. I don't know if it's an American thing, but Americans in general, especially younger people, they have a lot of excuses as to why they cannot do certain things, and there's some valid excuses. Obviously, if you have one leg, it might be a little bit difficult for you to run a marathon, right? That's a sweet little shoddy move right there. But even then, when you have a prosthetic leg, there are people that have no legs and run marathons, and that doesn't mean that you have to do that. What I'm saying is that a lot of people make these internal excuses for them. Okay, so for some of you guys, intrinsic motivation, like for me, when I was a kid, like a lot of guys are like, I'm just gonna blow that homework assignment off. I'm gonna skip that, or I'll skip work and I'll skip that. Like, if I did that, other than my parents like whipping my ass, the other thing that the thing that would affect me the most intrinsically is that it wouldn't, like, my stomach would not feel good. Okay, not like I'd get a stomach ache and I'd want to puke or anything. It's just like I wouldn't feel right if I skipped something, or if I did something like not to the best of my ability, right? So if you have that in you already, then I'm probably talking to somebody that doesn't need to hear this stuff. But for a lot of you guys, there's a lot of people that'll blow off work. Like, I'm talking, like, if you guys have ever worked like in food or retail, you know what I'm talking about, when it's like your shift's up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go home at 1 o'clock because I got here all early. And then Johnny asshole, who always calls in at 12:55 and like, yo man, I'm sick, I can't come to work right now. Right? And so then you got to cover for his shift because he doesn't want to do anything, and then this asshole complains about how many hours he doesn't get, right? So that's one of those things that I'm talking about right now. But here's the thing, I'm going to run out of time if I keep going on like this. If you guys want to hear more, you can always put in the comment section. Like, there's just so many excuses out there, and what I want to tell you guys in general, like, it's one thing if you just accept your failure, like, hey man, I didn't do a very good job, that's my fault, so on and so on. or I'm just a lazy ass and I don't want to like eat right and work out, whatever, right? Or I don't want to go to school and study, because study is basically working out. Nobody wants to do workout or study. Some people like studying, but those people are just not, they're not human, all right? So, but there's always going to be all these excuses where it's like, you know, I go to work, you know, I work 2 jobs or whatever, and I'm in a fraternity, and like I gotta work, and I gotta play sports. I gotta just, like, nobody gives a shit, right? Because like everybody's worked 2 jobs. There's people that work 3 jobs. Some people work 4 jobs. Okay, there's people that work minimum wage jobs, like 80 hours a week, and go to school. Okay, so nobody cares when you say like, yo, I got 2 jobs, and yo, man, I work at Abercrombie, so I gotta get my 12 hours in at retail, and you know, so yeah, you're busy, dude. You're not the first person in the world to do that, all right? So when you bitch about that and you make excuses like that, nobody cares, dude. Like, even when I do something great or good, like I feel like even when I graduated from like graduate school, like nobody cared how hard it was for me, okay? I'm talking like I bought a house. I couldn't go out, okay? This was another thing, okay? So I bought a house when I was really young. And so if you get a house, you got a mortgage, you got insurance, you got all this stuff. And so insurance is like a bitch, first of all, okay? For you young people out there. That's the one that's going to get you, okay? So here's the thing, I bought a house. I wanted a house. I wanted to live in a house. I didn't want to live in an apartment, right? So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to go out drinking all night, go out and blow like $200 on beer and shots, right? And go whoever. So I accepted that, okay? So at the time, like when I was like 24 to 29, which is like your prime, right? I was at home putting in work in graduate school, okay? And you don't have to do that, but that was important to me, okay? So one thing was that, you know, my friends, they were cool about it. They weren't like trying to be like, hey, yo, why are you being a bitch? Come out, right? So when you go out, like, I knew I couldn't do that because I just didn't have the money to do that. And I was working full-time. I was working a full-time job too, like benefits, all that stuff. Not talking like I was working like at the mall and my parents were paying for school. I was paying mortgage and that, okay? So when I was doing that, you know, I was doing my thing, and it sucked, dude. It sucks reading. Like, it sucks on Thursday, like ladies' night to Wednesday night. You want to go out, right? At 24 years old, you got a little cash to spend. If I was living in an apartment, man, I'd have like, I could spend $1,000 a month on just stupid stuff. And, you know, there are people that do that, and that's fine. But I knew that I didn't want to live, like, I didn't want to live in an apartment. I really wanted a house. I don't know why I wanted a house, okay? So, and then I graduated from graduate school really quick in 14 months, the exact time that it took, the shortest amount of time you can do it. And that was really important to me. But even when I got that, I didn't even go to graduation. I didn't tell anybody I graduated because that was for me. Like, I wanted that, right? And so when I did that, like, nobody wanted to hear what I just told you. Nobody wanted to hear how, like, I had to, like, sacrifice some stuff. You know, maybe I couldn't go out on dates, take all these girls out because I was at home doing work, right? I was putting in work when everybody else was, like, having fun, right? And I wanted to go, you know, have fun too. But I didn't. Now, it turns out later that, you know, I still had my degree and it was fine, and I'd do it over again, but that was something that was important to me. So a lot of times people think like it's TV, where you go, like, you live in New York, you go to grad school, you make $100,000 and you get this big ass apartment. It doesn't work like that. And so, like, a lot of people, I'm just ranting now, but it just really irked me when it was like people thought it came easy, and it doesn't. And so that's some of the things that like I missed out on that, and I don't really care. And here's the thing, you don't really care that I told you that. It's just a story, right? But if I went up to someone and said, like, you know what, I gave up partying for that, they're like, so what, dude? You think you're the first person in the world that's ever done that? Nobody gives a shit about that stuff, right? So what I'm telling you guys, and I'll make it part 2 because I only got halfway through this video. That was a 108-point game, dropping 60 million kills. But just stop making excuses. Let me know what goals you guys have set and you've overcome and made, you know, strides and progressing towards those goals. But other than that, then Justin, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.